Since like the beginning of last year, I've been really getting into painting outdoors and I really love it. But the only thing I have that's kind of an issue with it is that I felt like it was never really in my style until I started doing things a little bit more like this and stuff like this, which I feel like brings both my illustrative and my painterly style together. And then it was when I made this one that I thought that I could do something to expand it a little bit more. So I'm going to be making a more finished piece out of this one today. So if you've seen some of my work in like any other platform or even on here, I think you've seen that I do have a very illustrative, cartoony style, I guess you could say, which lends really well to my children's book stuff and some of my graphic novel stuff that I'm working on. But I also really like plein air painting and just, being outside and sketching. And when I was doing that last year, I felt like a lot of the work I was doing kind of looked like a lot of the work I saw a lot of other people do, which was fine, and it allowed me to practice painting and allowed me to practice light composition and everything, but it just didn't really feel like me. And I guess it just goes back to that kind of finding your style and even in everything you do. And I already had a pretty solid style that I like to work in, and this is me just bringing that into my landscape work too, where I can have a little bit more fun with it and not just have it be the local landscape, but also be, something that I really enjoy creating. And I think that's what it came down to. It is I want to be able to draw in my style wherever I am, if I'm outdoors or if I'm indoors. And I think I just want to have fun with it. So this piece is me expanding on that little one that I did and experimenting with my style a little bit more in a new way. Also, it's really good practice for me to draw architecture for, comics and things. And it allows me to bring a little bit of fantasy into sort of my everyday life. Adding a little mermaid here or a sea monster or, all kinds of crazy things. I live right on the ocean, so there's a lot of space for exploration. A lot of sea legends and mermaids and sirens and sea monsters and dragons and bears. Oh my. There's a lot. But yeah, there aren't we don't have bears, but we might have sea monsters. I think it's officially time for me to just play some music and have you guys hang out with me while I paint. Getting a little loopy. So you're gonna see me coming in with like these little random dots of what look like rust color, and it's just something I like to add on there because it does make it look a little bit more rusty. A lot of these houses, not really this one, but a lot of these houses that have been kind of near the ocean for a long time, they kind of get this like weird discoloration and this like rust color. And I think it adds a little bit of warmth to the overall painting. Also, I do really like the way the ink came out on this one. Again, I'm doing a lot of what I would do if I was illustrating a page, but I'm doing it for this kind of landscape painting, and I really want to try doing this more with a lot of the other scenery that we have around here. I also want to try doing this in plein air and just taking the time to do a bigger piece in plein air and maybe do something similar to this. I think if you guys know James Gurney, he's done a lot of the fantasy and the wild stuff. And I think getting out there and doing some of these mermaids like on location on one of these like old sea shacks or something would be really fun. I've been thinking about putting together sort of a class or workshop or just a get together kind of thing. I think I'd call it imaginative plein air. It's a mouthful though. I don't know. But it would be sort of using what you see around you and then adding a little bit more to it. A little bit of painting from life and a little bit of painting from imagination. Adding, fantasy or some sci-fi elements to it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. There's a great artist on here that goes by Lavera Grace, who, I mean, if you're watching like painting and illustrating stuff, you probably already know her. She does some really cool mermaids, and she did a video and a couple pieces of some mermaids on a rock that are super cool. I definitely suggest you check that out. But yeah, sort of like that idea of just taking what's around you and then adding a little bit of fantasy to it, or adding a little bit of your own style or something a little bit more to that. I think I'm doing a sea serpent in the next one. I think that'd be fun. Maybe like grabbing a boat. I have some ideas. A lot of ideas. Not a lot of time. Anyways, here's some more peaceful music and painting. So after I'm done kind of adding some of those shadows, you'll see me putting in some masking fluid on the mermaid. And I did it on the boat too, but I think I forgot to film it. And a big thing, oh no, I filmed a little bit. Um, a big thing that I was kind of thinking about before, I should have maybe done that on the house and on the lighthouse before I started painting it. Because I got really detailed and super into it, and then I was like, oh, painting this sky would be so much easier if I had masking fluid. So, tip for future me and for anyone else who's doing sort of a landscape like this, do the masking fluid on everything before you actually go in and try to paint a sky over it and, grass and water and everything else. I think it's going to make it so much easier. Anyways, it turned out okay. I was more worried with the boat and the mermaid anyways because it's such a smaller bit of the overall painting, so having them be masked off it just makes it easier. Here's some of that rust color again. I just use it on everything. I swear if Aussie Red Gold ever goes out of production, I'm gonna be so sad. I feel like I've gone through 2 tubes of it just this year. And they're pretty big too. Kinda pricey. Wait for it. Oh, and there I go again. More Aussie Red Gold. If Daniel Smith wants to sponsor me and just send me tubes of Aussie Red Gold, I will be totally okay with that. And now we're just going to take off that masking fluid. This is when I forgot to film the boat. Taking off the masking fluid, not painting it. I painted the boat. But also, like, the camera was really low, so I didn't catch, like, a lot of the boat painting. But yeah, that's the boat. But yeah, completely sidetracked here, talking about style. So even if you're starting out now and you're looking to find your style, just know that I've been doing this for a while and I still kind of struggle with the same thing. I feel like I have a solid style now, but finding ways to use it in all the mediums and all the ways that I can is still a struggle. But also know that you don't have to just have one style. You can have multiple styles for multiple different things. A lot of artists do, and that's fine. Just find a way that you like to draw or create in any way, and do that. This is the way I like to do it. Um, I love the way that this came out. I had fun making it, and I'm gonna be doing a lot more of this. So I hope you guys stick around, subscribe, like, do all the fun stuff, and thank you for watching.